I think India learned two lessons from the Kargil crisis. The first lesson it learned was that there is room for conventional conflict under the nuclear umbrella. That nuclear weapons did not make conflict obsolete, period. There was room even for conventional conflict. And after Kargil, India spent quite some time thinking of what that space for conventional conflict would be. After the 2001 and 2002 crisis, the imperatives that drove Indian thinking to explore that space more actively only increased. But the first lesson I would say India learned from Kargil is that the presence of nuclear weapons has not made limited aims conflict obsolete. And India was therefore duty-bound to think of what kind of latitude it had with respect to the pursuit of conventional war aims under the nuclear umbrella. The second lesson I think India learned from Kargil was that it could not afford to persist with a nuclear capability that was solely a recess deterrent, which is a deterrent which was maintained in bits and pieces and which could be assembled essentially on a timeline of India's choosing. Prior to 1998, that was very much the Indian expectation, that as long as the Indian arsenal consisted of bits and pieces that could be assembled, with a certain degree of latitude, India would be safe. I think what they realized after Kargil was that they did not need to have a ready arsenal, but they did need to have nuclear capabilities that could be assembled and brought together much more quickly than they had assumed would be the case before '98. And after the 1999 Kargil crisis, I saw intriguing pieces of evidence that suggested that India was moving towards at least some fraction of its nuclear assets maintained at relatively higher levels of readiness than had been the case before the Kargil conflict.